$900 million wiped out from crypto in the last 24 hours. That will never be seen again because this is liquidated positions. Leverage traders are getting wiped out completely. And what I am about to uncover in this video is going to be pretty significant. It's something that I don't really want to talk about because from what I have been noticing, especially on YouTube, is that whenever somebody is talking about this, it seems as though the video gets taken down. I want to go over a few things. Let's first start off with the market right now. Yes, leverage trades, using leverage, it's a dangerous game. The KYC letter said breaking, crypto liquidation surged to 900 million over the last 24 hours as Bitcoin falls towards $84,000. No headlines or market moving news, yet Bitcoin has erased over 120 billion in market cap in 24 hours. Leverage is a dangerous game. It's not just leverage though. What was the main driver of this? Outside of China saying, oh, hey, we're going to ban crypto, which, let's just be honest here, does anyone even care what China's saying at this point? We have the largest economy in the world embracing crypto at a time where, China's talking about banning crypto. It's just ridiculous. But is that the main driver of this? No. It's actually much more significant, and it's something that I would argue is concerning. Now, I want to go over a few things. Let's start off with Bitcoin because Bitcoin did hit a low of 83.9K. I'm watching Bitcoin closely. You guys already know that I have been watching Bitcoin closely. This is what the weekly looks like. This is what the 24-hour span looks like. This was a nasty sell-off. Bitcoin did drop significantly. It was roughly a 9%, almost a 10% drop. I know that that's not like a crazy amount in crypto. However, we were expecting a much larger reversal. I mean, let's just be real here. Everyone was hoping for us to reverse, but it feels as if this was just more bearish price action. And the main thing that we're looking at now is just higher lows. That's all we can really hope for at this point. But the main thing that I'm looking into is what was the driver around this? Is it just liquidations? Like, what's really going on here? And of course, yes, with Bitcoin selling off, most altcoins like even XRP did sell off in a big way. XRP lost $2 slightly there for a bit of time. This is what the 24-hour span looks like. And this is, of course, what the 1 week looks like. Most of the charts in this space look very, very weak. And that's because of how large this sell-off actually was. Now, in terms of the total market cap of crypto, we were down about almost 10%. This is over $307 billion wiped out of the market in just the last, 24 hours. What's kind of crazy about this, though, is I want to go back to October 10th because this is when things started to really break. I would argue that all of this price action after October 10th, all of this would have been avoided and we probably would have had a much larger reversal already if something didn't really break on the 10th. We've talked about it. We've speculated on it. Market makers. A lot of market makers went belly up and we just did not get any major headlines around it. Nobody confirmed it. Nobody was putting out articles or anything like that. But October 10th, everything changed in crypto after October 10th. This was the day everything changed. Now, we did hear from Tom Lee about what he thought happened on October 10th. It's got posted from Drew Day. This is from CNBC, and we have here Tom Lee says that on October 10th, 1/3 of the crypto market makers went out of business during the $19 billion liquidation event. 1/3 of crypto market makers. That's very important to focus on. Obviously, is this true? We don't know. We can't confirm it. However, I do think that some market makers, some very large market makers, went belly up. And we have yet to hear about it, but it's still affecting the market in a big way. But listen closely to this video real quick.
So crypto had been a leading indicator for for actually most of the last 5 years. But on October 10th, crypto had what I would call Armageddon, a flash event, but it led to a liquidation that was never seen in the 15 years history of Bitcoin. About a third of the market makers went out of business that day. Almost 2 million accounts went to zero.
Yeah.
And it was because of a pricing error, what I would call a glitch. It led to
you definitely made that case that it definitely seems as if there was something in the kind of market maker functioning that got fouled. Now, that being said, the reason you can have all those accounts auto liquidated is because there were that many accounts with that much leverage that got Bitcoin up to where it was above 120.
Yes.
Right? I mean, so it's not as if it happened in a vacuum.
Yeah. So if in a way, it means crypto represents really a very precise measurement of risk appetite, because there's so much more leverage, and that got wiped out.
Right.
That last time it happened in 2022, it took 8 weeks before people sort of touch their toes back in. I think that's where we are. We're near a bottom, but now I don't think crypto leads. Crypto is lagging because it's really the AI that's going to be leading.
Okay.
So he doesn't really tell us anything about those market makers, and he's calling it a glitch, a price glitch. What actually happened was Binance, crypto's #1 exchange. I would argue, Binance kind of holds a monopoly over the crypto exchange side of things. They have been the #1 crypto exchange since, as far as I remember, I mean, going all the way back to, 2017 when they became a big name. They just continued to take over from that point on. But Binance is one of the largest crypto exchanges in the world, and they dominate this space. Now, Binance was showing a price glitch across the board on a few altcoins, saying zero. That definitely heightened liquidations because, again, with an API glitch, yes, it will force close, liquidate it, or leverage trades, which will completely liquidate them. And that could affect the overall market in a big way. Now, we don't know if that was the main driver of this. However, Binance has been selling a ton of Bitcoin and a ton of crypto assets. Now, who's the biggest name behind Binance that's also helping to do this? Well, it's a company called Wintermute. Now, Wintermute is a market maker. They are a big player. And, on their website, if you go and learn about the company, they have algorithmic trading. We apply our proprietary high-frequency algorithms and quantitative strategies across all major trading venues in CeFi, DeFi, and TradFi. Of course, we do have OTC liquidity provision as well. We provide spot and derivative OTC products to counterparties ranging from global financial institutions to crypto-native firms. Venture investment, liquidity provision, and incubation. Now, again, this is a very interesting company because it seems as though whenever we have a very significant sell-off, it's driven by price action that Wintermute is behind. For example, we go back to October 30th. This got posted by Butcher, Easy808. Just in, Binance is dumping again the market via Wintermute. And here we have the Binance hot wallet having transactions sent to Wintermute. We have, Solana, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. This is large clips. Now, again, it doesn't show us sell pressure. This is just transfers. But with our recent sell-off in the market, we do have sell pressure and we have those transactions. Now, there's a lot of major buying here as well. However, most of this is sell pressure. And the craziest part is it's not just based around Binance. It's based around even other exchanges as well. But we also have over here from Marty Party, market maker update, assets were being sent to Wintermute all day yesterday. Here's the summary and the result. Here are all the crypto liquidation levels. We can see them highlighted on the chart. And then also over here, most active entities, these are the largest centralized exchanges during this time. Binance, with over 1,738 Bitcoin, 34 plus thousand Ethereum, and over 358,000 Solana. And yes, the number one market maker here was Wintermute with 1,747 Bitcoin and over 41,000 Ethereum. So this was Binance and Wintermute mainly being the ones that caused this. Now, you might say, all right, well, how do they fully cause this? Well, when you have that type of sell pressure and you start to see liquidation levels getting hit, it causes a cascade in the market. Now, on top of that, Butcher did put out a great post on November 3rd, because this is after the market sells off on October 10th, and then all the way through November, we continuously see a massive sell-off, especially even in the beginning of November. Now, here we have, let me explain to you how Binance and Wintermute screws the entire crypto market. In the past 30 days alone, 34.5 billion traded between the two. Binance sends 10 to 100 million chunks of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana to Wintermute wallets hours before every major dump. Wintermute then market sells on Binance, triggering cascading liquidations. October 10th flash crash playbook repeated 4 times in 2025. Here we have Wintermute receives 700 million from Binance. Spot sell walls appear on every pair. 19 billion longs liquidated in 90 minutes. Wintermute buys back at 30% discount. Binance pockets the funding rate fees. Wintermute pockets the spread. Today, same script. Binance to Wintermute. 1.14 billion Bitcoin dumped. Result, 1.16 billion liquidations while Powell was still speaking. Retail longs wiped. Whales refill at the bid. And yes, this is exactly how market makers are screwing everyone. We've talked about it for years. Even over here, we have the inflows and the outflows. Look at the outflows. Yes, it's not just Binance. We also have Coinbase here with over 8,000 plus Bitcoin. But BitMEX over almost 8,000 Bitcoin. Binance over 5,000 plus Bitcoin. But Wintermute is the number one player here with over 9,300 plus Bitcoin. This is wild. So the largest exchanges and the largest market maker are coordinating these moves. It's something that I said even after the October 10th sell-off as well. I said that this recent move in the market was coordinated. October 10th was the start of this controlled sell-off that most likely led to market makers getting absolutely crushed. No headlines, no news, just massive liquidity wicks across the board. Then we bounced back in a huge way, creating what was one of the largest bull traps in crypto history. Because again, we go back to the total. We go back to October 10th. We sell off and things start to look pretty good. We're starting to form a floor slightly. We found support right around roughly like 3.5 trillion. And it seems as though everything is going good. And then we get another massive sell-off. By the way, this massive sell-off was this one, where Binance sent to Wintermute over 1.14 billion Bitcoin, which also caused 1.16 billion liquidations. I said over here, then we start to see headlines flooding the space again. OG Bitcoin whale selling, seller is done, he's getting liquidated, this is the end of MicroStrategy, etc. As leveraged traders got completely rinsed, the market completely flushed, and mainstream media spewing bear market headlines, we watched as one of the largest sell-offs, even bigger than the FTX and COVID crash, happened. Now, again, when we think about what's happening in this space, I just made a video earlier today where I talked about how they want us out. Why is this getting so severe at this moment? Like, why are we seeing this much sell pressure? Why are we seeing this much manipulation? It's because we are so close to having this space completely regulated, and we're at the point where all of the biggest institutional players are talking about crypto in a positive way. They want to tap into crypto. They want us out before the next wave hits, aka the institutionalization phase of crypto. I think that this is one massive sell-off. I think that this is one massive sell-off that was coordinated from some of the biggest players to shake as many people out as possible. I don't think that this is normal price action. This feels extremely manipulated. And it also feels as though it's exaggerated. I feel like this entire sell-off has been exaggerated since October 10th. But again, all of this is happening with no headlines, zero market moving news. We're just seeing massive amounts of money getting wiped from the market. And it leads me back to who are the biggest market makers pushing this? Wintermute, Binance, the largest exchanges as well. This is crazy. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video.